All right, good evening, everyone. So welcome to our training, integration and testing, API training. So we are going to start right away. We'll start from where we stopped last week. So by the way, I'm Tayo and I'll be taking us on this training. So before we proceed, there will be no time for asking what you learned last week. No, we won't have such time. We'll just move on immediately because the essence of this training, I will try to reiterate it again, is not to give us the ABCXYZ of all that integration and testing API entails, but it's expected to give us a practical illustration of what happens in the enterprise environment, what happens in the working environment. Is going to give us a view of that. Please, if you're on the road, you can mute, please. So this is expected to give us, what I'm bringing to us is what happens in the working environment, because sometimes you go and learn some training outside, you learn some course, and you come to work and it's a total different world. Yeah, we have so that's why recruiters have a lot of issues. They see people with a lot of certification, great CVs and everything, only to get them employed, and the staff begins 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. The team coordinator discovered that the guy cannot fit in, cannot work because all what he had is just a training. It's a paper training that actually doesn't speak into the working environment. So what I'm bringing to us is what happens in the working environment, how it's like. So within this training, I'll be taking us through some rigor of how you get requests from client, from customer, how you handle customer relationship. It's part of it because it have to be handful. It have to be handful of coverage. But if you want depth, when you want depth, that's when you can go and take professional course. You get, but it's wrong to take a professional course first and get a job and start working when you don't have the practical depth overview. But now I'm bringing us the cultural adaptation of how you can adapt yourself to a working environment, and how you can handle, how you can be onboarded properly when you get employed, when you get a job, how you can handle interview, how you can answer some questions, how you can get familiar with this thing, even though you didn't study computer science, or you don't know a jack about computer. The minimum requirement for this is that you have a mobile phone and you are a mobile phone nerd, meaning you know all the Jack and Robinson of a mobile phone. So that's all that matters. So it is if you want depth, you need to go and take more training, YouTube, Google, and get more resources and train. And one other thing before we start is that one thing about computer courses, computer skills is you have to be obsessed about it. Every day you have to think about it. You have to look for how to improve yourself the more. You have to tax yourself. You have to see how to do things on daily basis. You can say you don't have a laptop or computer, but you have a phone and you have a data. With it, you can do so many things. You get. I remember while I was in university there, it got so interesting with us that we had to download a programming compiler on our mobile phone, on our Nokia phones there. We write a simple basic commands and we execute it on our phone and it runs. So you can write coding on your phone, you get. So this is part of the computer world. You have to be obsessed with it. You have to be creative. You have to have a intention, a drive for learning, to learn more. Computer world is not for lazy people, actually. It's not. So you have to have a drive from within yourself to tax yourself on daily basis. Or else, whatever we learned last week, if you are waiting for your teacher to come and pour another thing on your head the following week, you will miss it. He's not a lecturer. He's not a lecturing thing, a school lecturing thing we are doing. This is a weekly based training whereby whatever you are being taught, you are expected to do some research here and there. You have to love reading. Yeah, not reading to pass, but reading to know, to be filled with knowledge. All right, thank you. So that will be all, and I will be starting immediately. We're on record. Yeah. Thank you. So we will move immediately to the topic for today. Yeah. So last week, I'll just do a recap. Last week, we learned about what testing and integration is. And I told us that testing is about getting a feedback regarding the working the condition of a particular system. The system can be your mobile phone, can be a game, can be an application, can be a network, can be a trying to access a system resources. You want to see, you want to get to know its status. You need to get to know its working adaptability. Is it working? Is it working as expected? So that's what testing is all about. When we come to computer world, when you are a tester, and when we come into integration, integration has to do with when you hear integration, it means integrating one thing to the other, joining something together in parallel, in serial mode, in any mode. As far as things can communicate, can join themselves together, that is what we call something is integrated. So you can only test what is integrated. For example, you have your network, you are connected now to the internet, maybe through your phone or through your laptop. There's a network that phone or laptop is connected to. So what was achieved in that means is called an integration. It's a terminology. You have to get familiar with it. It's an integration. It's an integration that has been achieved. You get, it's a touch, it has to do with point systems communicating with each other. You get. So, and I was able to also brought to our attention that in testing, what are things we test? We test the network status of a system. Number one, the system status. When a system to system is integration, it means more than one systems are integrated together. Then, when we are talking about system alone, it means only one system. Only one system is what we are talking about. So now, so now you can test the status of a system, of a standalone system. Your phone not connected with anything is a standalone. When it's connected to internet, your phone is not alone. It's more than one at that moment because it's accessing resources somewhere. So now that you can test the status of a system to system. Number two, you can also test the network you can test the network connectivity of it. You can test the network. You can test the network of a system. Number three, you can test the system resources. The system resources is what brings us to, when we are testing network is about you getting to know, is this thing connected to the network? Is it connected to the local network? Is it connected to the metropolitan network or the global network, the www. What type of network is it? So that's actually as an assignment for us to go and learn about networking. So people that want to take courses on networking, this is the best. This is what it is. So this is a pathway for you. Can take CCNA, take courses on networking. You can bind it with testing and integration. It's a great bumper for you for work. So people that have done CCNA before network, you have idea of networking. If you can combine it with these, you get and defend it in an interview, you get a proper job in an IT organization, in a telecoms. So now the last part is the component, the system resources, component of system resources. So you can test the system resources. This one I spoke about, system resources, what are accessible on the system. We have data storage. Your phone has data storage. Data storage such as database, memory. Under the memories like cookies, caches, inbuilt memory files. You get under database, I spoke to us about file system being a type of file of a database. You get, and we are going to touch base on this thing. We'll touch base on database. We'll check into a typical type of database, access its data, see how a database is being accessed. We'll try type some commands, see how cookies can be accessed, see how caches can be accessed. You get, all these things are something actually literally we are supposed to know. But sometimes it's something you play around with, but sometimes you couldn't defend what you have no idea about. Yeah. So we also have system component resources such as microservices. So microservices bring us to what we call an API. So microservice is a bundle of functions. It's a program. So this is where program. So this is what programmers does. When programmers write programs, they make their programs, split it into microservices. Microservices, you use an example of a school system. A school system has student register, your what is this again? Your course register, your matriculation register, system, your payment details of the students. You get. So there's a program that handles those ones individually, independent of each other. Independent of each other is what we call microservices. Now, those resources being exposed to a third party is what we call API. The mode of exposing the resources outside, like I showed us an image on my website last week to us while we were ending our meeting, in our training. I showed us an image. So that image was, I exposed it. What I did was it exposed through an API. So you will know the mode by which it is being exposed. How is something exposed? For example, Google, for example, Google has what we call Google Map. And you will see on your WhatsApp, check your WhatsApp. If somebody has shared map before, map location, my current location, if somebody has shared it before, you'll see that on that map that WhatsApp is using, you'll see at the bottom right of it, you'll see Google. It means they embedded Google Map, they integrated Google Map into what? Into WhatsApp. The process of doing that is that Google exposed an API of their map to WhatsApp. That's what happened. Same thing on Uber, same thing on any of these systems that uses map or anything. So they integrate with what Google Map. So the process of me sharing my resources with you is exposing my resources to you is what we call an API, application programming interface. It means I am making an interface available for you to access these resources on my site. I can make you to access my file. I can make it any way by which you are accessing something. There is an API. There must be a protocol. There must be a protocol it's obeying by which you must use to access it. It's just as simple as you are able to access. Maybe some of you have done some prank work before, whereby two systems are connected to LAN. Okay, for example, should I say Bluetooth connection, Bluetooth transfer? Let me not go too far. Let me not go too far. But the mode by which a resource is accessible. It's accessible. The moment a resource is accessible to any third party can be people that are not the owner of that service. It's what we call an API, application program interface. It means I, as a program, I develop something that is on my system, on my server. Then I expose the interface to you by which you can interface to. So I can say that I want users to access student register. In student registration, access my name, phone number, and date of birth of student. Whenever you want, then there's a way you pass it, you access that resources. Every time you access it, you can access that information that is stored on my system. So that is an API. So right away, I think that is a full overview of what we did, what we were able to cover through last week. So I'm going to move right away immediately, so we don't waste too much time. So now today we are going to be looking at different API protocols. I told you API is an application programming interface. It means a programmer develop a code, a function, something that does something. Example is Google Map. Then Google now said that, okay, we are making use of Google Map internally for ourselves. We want to expose it. We want to monetize it. Whenever you are monetizing, I want to monetize it so that whenever people access my map, third party access my map, if they access it, if their users is able to, if it's accessible 1,000 times, they will pay me $10 for it. This is where cloud service comes in. So I think by God, we're able to access one or two things in cloud services, like Google Cloud Service, Azure Cloud Service, and the common one. What's this guy? Amazon. Yeah, Amazon. So I can show us some things done on Google Cloud Services. So all these things are service on these cloud services. Then they are now exposed by an API to applications like mobile applications and so on and so forth. You get. Sorry, I'm not sharing my camera video. Okay, this is my face. All right, so now there are different modes by which sorry, hold on. So we are going to move faster. So now there are different protocols by which a resources is accessible. You get? We have different type of protocol. Protocol, I mean, like I'm looking for a way to explain it. For example, I want to move my car. I can drive my car through a manual method, and I can drive it through through an automatic method, through an automatic gear. Can also drive it through a manual gear. So at the end of the day, my car moved, right? I was able to move my car. Maybe you use manual or automatic. People seeing it from afar are seeing a car moving. They don't know what is being moved by. They don't know maybe it's on an automatic or a manual. They just care that a car is moving. So the people seeing a car on the road, hey, stop that, come on. So people seeing my car on the road actually are people we call end users. They are seeing it. It's just like you check your Facebook and you are scrolling through posts, scrolling through pictures of people on Instagram. You don't care how it is being fed to your Instagram feed. But the program of Instagram understand how it's accessing those resources. There's a way those resources are being fetched out. So when people are seeing car moving on the road, or I'm inside somebody's car, I don't care. All I care is I bought a vehicle, just move me. Or maybe through a plane, an aeroplane, an airplane, by whichever way it's moved. Maybe it's bow engine. I don't even know anything about that. A plane is moving, get me to my destination. That's what I care about. So it's the same thing here. So people use different methods. So different mode, different, like as we have different gear system we have two different kind of gear system on in a car to move a vehicle. It's the same way it is in an interface protocol. A protocol is a means by which information are being driven. Is an interface by which resources is being driven from one end to the other. Don't be scared about all this. I will show us everything. So number one, we have something called SOAP protocol. We have something called SMPP protocol. SMPP is used for SMS message. It's used by the telecoms network. When an SMS is being delivered, when an SMS is being sent from your mobile phone, it passes through the medium of SMPP. We call it SMPP. So we have SIP. SIP protocol is the one that is used to handle call notification. So when you call someone, when you make a call, there's a signaling. The signaling goes through an SIP, which is the protocol by which a call is being handled. So I'm in telecom industry, so I know that. You get. There's something called XML over TCP, TCP/IP. There's another one called user datagram protocol. And there's the last one. It's not the last one. We have many, but I just bring this one as a view for us. Representational state transfer. This is the most commonly used protocol. We call it HTTP REST. HTTP REST. Representational state transfer. HTTP REST. So this is going to be what we'll be focusing on in our meeting. So under different interfaces, we all know what interface is. You are interfacing with someone. Like somebody is playing. Interface is like a middle player, a middleware. Somebody playing a middle player between you and another party. So that mode of interfacing, like I have something in my backend and there's a guy interfacing it in order to provide. So if you ask something, you pass through me. So no one can go to the father directly. You have to pass through the son. Let me explain it to you that way. So you have to pass through a medium. That medium is what we call API. It's what we call an interface. So now what do we do? Yeah, what we do is mostly in organization, you test an API, you test an interface. You should be able to know when you want to test an interface, the first thing is what kind of interface, what protocol is it using? That's the first question. What protocol? Because the kind of protocol it's using will determine how the data is being driven, how it's how to be able to know its adaptability. You know, when you enter a car, you want to drive it, you get to ask, is it manual or automatic? You first to get to know if it's manual or automatic, so that you take care, you manage yourself very well and don't embarrass yourself. So it's just the same way here. So, okay, that said and done, I think I want to move to the next of our training. We want to start the practical aspect right now. So before we come and join back to the API, on the API, you see, we have the REST API, which is going to be our focus. This is the REST API. As you can see from here, we have REST API basics. All these long-standing sticks here, like human being. I don't know. Okay. So, for example, this is an HTTP REST API basics. You see all these sticks that looks like standing sticks here. They are users like mobile phones clients accessing an API, and that API is communicating with your database behind. You want to fetch student resources. When you access the API interface, the API is a set of program written, goes to the database, fetch the information, and return the details back to the user. Yes. So I will make it a pause here. And we have, in the next 10 minutes, this meeting will time out. Let's join back after then. Thank you. So we want to continue with, okay. Want to continue with, want to start with some system resources you need to know. You need to know some commands. I stopped sharing my screen. I'm supposed to do that. Okay. So if you are with your laptop, you can go to your command prompts. All right, this is where I want to start with us. So we are going to learn systems. I've spoken about systems, system to systems, system network, and system resources. You get. So number one thing you have to get familiar with is different kind of system. In organization, you know, you need to understand that we have. I'm not going to do that basic for us. That computer basics. We have different type of operating system. This, and that. I think that is very basic for us. We can learn it on our own. So we have different operating system. The operating system I'm using here is Windows operating system, and we also have the Unix, the Linux family, Unix, Linux. We have the Apple operating, the Macintosh operating system. You get. So one of the most commonly used operating system in organization is the Windows and Linux operating system. Yeah. So, but what is being majorly used on server is Linux operating system. So when you get a job role that has to do with a tester or a maintenance guy, a troubleshooter, you've been working majorly on the black environment, on the dark screen. So now, what you are seeing here is what we call the command prompts of Windows. So this command prompt is an interface to the kernel, an interface, not to the full kernel of the operating system, but it gives you access to the kernel of the operating system of what I'm using right now. So this is Windows. So this is the black screen. You have to love this guy. It's black and white. You have to know it. You have to know its commands, like the back of your hand. Yeah, because of so many things. So first of all, let me minimize this first and show us some roots, some things we know. So generally, you all know that, okay, you have a mobile phone in your hands, and you know how to access your memory card, you know how to access files, systems on your phone, your storage. It's likewise on the Windows. The Windows has a storage. The storage is this. And the reason why Windows is this way is the difference between Windows and Linux is Windows has a graphics user interface, a GUI, meaning that you can interface with all, like whenever you create folders, whenever you create a file, that what you are doing is like a finished work. The real work is done behind the glass screen. You get, so you have a GUI that can make your life easier compared to Linux, whereby everything you have to do, even for network connectivity, you have to write commands. You have to write commands for everything. You get. So let me refresh our memory with this for Windows. So on Windows here, this is called this. Is this been partitioned to C and D drive? You get. I'm sure we all understand that. So under the C drive, it's the root of the computer system. There's a root of your storage on your phone. There's a root of your phone. So the root of your phone is when you enter the file storage. So now there's, on your file storage, there's a place called, if you are an Android user, there's a place called Android folder. Under that folder, you discover that is where all of your applications are stored. Your applications like Facebook, everything is stored under that Android folder. So the same thing here, under program files, you have your application stored. Every application you install on your Windows, under program files, you have the application installed right here. You get. So, and you have users. The user folder contains your user information, like my documents, your desktop informations. This is all what is on my desktop. Your document. I know some of us know this, but we need to go through this again. Video folder and everything. These have been pre-created for you. This is a GUI. On Linux, you have no such thing. You create everything by yourself. You get. So now, back to the main thing. So I'm clicking my C drive. I can click in a folder. I'm just navigating as I like. But how do I do it from here? This is the main guy. Everything you are doing, like you create folder, is happening from the blast screen. You have to get familiar with the blast screen. So this is where our practical will start from. So are you with me, everyone? Let me get feedback from us, please.
Yes,
all right. So now, on your Windows, every clicking you are doing, everything can be done here. For example, there's something called, okay, PWD is not working. PWD to show, I want to see my directory where I am. Windows is a bit different from Linux. All right, so now I want to show us some Windows commands. Then after this, I'll take us to a live system, a Linux system, and see the difference. Do you understand? So I'll show us the difference. So what I want to show us is the root, the core of your Windows operating system. I want to show us how files are stored, how folders are stored, how folders are created, and how some little commands are being written. You get? So right away, we are going to, let's go to Google. So for training, I make my people familiar with Google. It's the almighty Google, you have to be familiar with it. It's the best thing that's ever happened to humankind, to IT guys. If Google is shut down, we all will be miserable. And that's the truth, I kid you not. Because so one secret you should know about computer is, you can see people write a lot of codes, right? Codes, 1,000 line of codes, and they are bragging about it. The truth is, we don't master those things in our head. We ask Google to help us at every time, because my brain cannot store, I cannot begin to store codes in my head. I know like 3 to 5 different programming language. So I can now begin to say that I want to know the syntax for Java, know syntax for PHP or for Python. I'm going to die before my time. So what we do is, we come to Google. Anything you want to do, you come to Google, ask Google the question, Google will give you the answer. For example, I want to access, I want to see my roots my details, the root details, root location on my command prompt. I will do, okay, check pwd in Windows. Please don't be bored, though. If you have system, please just follow me as I go. Okay. There are some things that are not available on Windows. Okay, oh, this is it. All right. So the trick what I just did here is this. I want to check my root file. I want to check where's my location, where am I? Whenever you open the command prompt, it takes you to the user of this computer. The user of this computer is Tayo. This is my computer. And where is Tayo here? I will show you where the command prompt brought me to. Command prompt brought me here. Users, Tayo. Can you all see this tab here? Can you all see this tab? I want somebody to give me feedback.
Yes, sir.
All right, now this is the location of Tayo. Under Tayo, I have my downloads, desktop, documents, all important folders that are personal to me. So please, this meeting will time out in the next 1 minute. Please, let's join immediately after it times out. So automatically, what I did is I want to check where's my location on back. So I'm going to continue. All right. Like I said, you have to be familiar with the command prompts. So right here, I want to check where am I? This is Tayo. CD is to check where you are. You are under C, your C drive. That is your hard disk. Your hard disk. Users, where the operating system is installed, is on the C drive. Users, Tayo. So this is my location. If I type ls or which one does Windows accept? Please mute your mic, please. Mute your mic, please. So I have to teach you this way so that you can get used to these files in the command prompt line. dir. dir. Okay, very good. All right. All right. So this is not magic. All right. So this is Tayo file. This is Tayo. Under Tayo, I have so many information. I have all these files. I have documents. I have music folders. I have videos folders. You get? I have so many things underneath it. So if I want to view it, instead of viewing it from GUI, if I want to view it from the command prompt, what I typed was dir, meaning directory. On Linux, it's different command. It uses ll to list. So underneath here, you see, this displays the date when the folders, the files were created. For example, this is your music folder, just as you have music here. Music, where's music? Okay, this is music. So this is music here. I also have, let me check my document. This is your document here. You get. Wait, let me save our recording, our previous recording. Sorry, because you are bored. It will be like that at times. But you have to get used to the training. You have to get used to the black screen guy. All right, so this is documents. Now, for example, the action I perform here, I perform an action here and I just click documents. It brought me to my document. The equivalent of that is doing this, CD document. You see? This is what I typed. Look at the bottom of my screen. CD document. It took me to here, to the document folder. CD, it means change directory. That's the meaning of CD, change directory. So if I want to list everything under my document, just like this, when I come into document, I came into document, it lists everything under my document. If I want to list everything like that, you type your command, dir, list the directory. Can you see it? This listed everything under my document by typing what? dir under document. So because I typed dir under this document root, under this document paths, it brought out all of my files, everything underneath it. Can you see it? So now, if I want to check where's my location, where's my paths, where's the part of my where's the part of my file of my folder, the paths? No, not pwd. What did we use the other time? Can somebody remind me? I want to check if anyone is following up. Anybody remember that? What did we use? We use CD. All right, so don't worry. You can just go back to this training, get familiar with it, with all these are just code. So you can go online and check all Windows commands. You can see different commands. Like every action, just this is how you can do it. This is how you can tax yourself. Every action you perform on a computer, on your Windows application, on your Windows operating system, check the equivalent command for it and begin to master it. Begin to master it. That's how you do. You begin to master it. So, for example, this I use to access my document. This is my current part is what? My C drive under users under file documents. And these are everything under documents. What about if I want to access this guy? Look. Who can tell me what I highlighted here? What type of file is this? How to test something? What type of file is this? Or can you see the file I highlighted? Can you see my screen properly?
Yes, we can see. They're too small.
It's too small. Oh,
Yes.
oh, maybe you are using your phone, right?
Yes. But I did not connect to my laptop.
Is everyone using their phone? Oh, please.
I'm also doing the practical on my laptop.
Okay, no problem. It will have been better. You can use your laptop so that you can see it well. All right. So what we have here is a file. So I have to teach us what is called a file extension also. So this is a file. So from the command prompt, you can access a file. This is a CSV file. A file which you can open on. The name is called sample code upload. It sample code upload is here under the GUI. This sample is opening with my Excel. Look at the way it's opened up here. If I want to open the same, the action I took here, it opened with Excel. If I want to open the same on my command prompt here, what I do is, how do I view? How do we view a file on command? Okay, this one is different. This is different from Linux. Let me also check for. I'm not used to Windows command prompt. We don't use it in our office, so. But I'm using this to just train us. At least when you are familiar with Windows, you will be familiar with Linux easily. So how to view a file in Windows. I'm teaching you this so that you can get familiar in Windows command prompt, CMD. How do I do that? Blah, 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 blah. So you can use more. Can you see? This is how you can get information on computer. Like you want to get any answer to anything you're looking for, just type it on Google. Then whatever recommendation is given to you, and you can see answers here. Just follow it, follow suit. So we have, what they said here, we can use more command, M-O-R-E. So I'm just going to type more, M-O-R-E, to access sample code upload.csv. Okay, it has opened it look at the way it opened it. So those using their phone, I'm sorry, but maybe later on, you can review this video later, you can check it on your laptop to catch up with it later on. So this is a CSV file. CSV file can be viewed on your command prompt. So all these things you are seeing, see, don't think when you get to Linux, because when you get to into the industry, into the enterprise world, you won't be using, most time, if you're an engineer, you won't be using Excel sheet like this. Most of your work will be done on a remote server. And that remote server is possibly Linux. You cannot escape it. So these are, you will be using, so when you are being told, open, check a file, check a particular information on the file, search for some record on that file, you'll be wondering that, but it does not have Excel. How do I search the file? It does not have TST file application. How do I view it? You view your stuff from the black screen. So start getting used to the black screen. So I'm giving you an assignment. Everything you can do on anything you can do on anything you can do on your Windows application, view file, open an application or whatsoever thing. Try to do what? Try to master what? Try to master the command, equivalent command of doing that. So the assignment I'm going to give to you is this. Let me type it in our chats. Everybody must see it. The assignment is the command Windows assignment. Windows command to open an application. To open an application. So you have to, that is going to be your assignment. I want us to report it latest tomorrow. I'll drop it on our Telegram too. Okay, that's our assignment. All right, so we are still moving on. So now you have to get how to do stuff with the command prompt. This command prompt is actually the core heartbeat of your work. You get, it's the core heartbeat of your system, of the operating system. So now I want to teach you file extension. For example, you need to understand what is called file extension also. You know what we are doing is component of system resources. So you must know the nature of resources of a system. For example, when we have a picture, when we have pictures are in different formats. You all know what is called JPEG, PNG. Those things that you know as JPEG and PNG are called extension. They are extension. So when you hear JPEG or PNG extension, when you cite it, you know that this is for a picture. You get, this is how you check the extension, file extension. See, this is .png. This means this is a picture file. So files have different extension. For example, who can tell what's the extension for a text file? Anyone can tell me the extension for a text file? Yeah? Oh, your voice is very, very low. Very low. TXT, all right, thank you. .txt. So whenever you see something like this, .txt, this txt file, .txt is extension for txt file. .csv is for the files that can be opened with Excel. It's a particular format of a file. For Excel is XLS. Microsoft Word is MSW. PowerPoint is .ppt. So those are file extensions. So one thing you need to master, you need to know what is called file extensions. What is the extension for executable applications on Windows? For executable applications on Windows, the extension .exe, right? All right, thank you. You are in line. So executable files for Windows applications are exe. This is it. .exe is the extension for application on Windows. So those are very important key things you will need. You need to know the extension of files, extension of applications, yeah, and so on and so forth. You get .dll. This is another extension. .dll, you meet it. That's for Windows. The DLL is for a program, and is a program, forgot, is a library. It's a library application on Windows. You get. So you can open an application from command prompt, but your assignment is to learn how to open it. All right, before I move us to Linux server, we need to, you know what I created there? I was able to create a file. No, this is the file I created. This file on my document. You see this guy, test. This is it. It's .txt. How can I do the same thing? And I wrote something on it. Hello, great people. And you save it. Control S. How can we do the same thing on Windows, on our command prompt? How we can do the same thing is, first of all, see, you don't know everything. You don't know everything. You come to Google. How can I create and write a TXT in Windows CMD command prompt? You see, this is how you can learn. This is the best way to learn. The greatest of us use Google to work. It's nothing to be ashamed of. So you come. Do you see? You see so many websites that will tell you what to do. It says CD to desktop means change your directory to your desktop environment. But we are not in desktop environment, we are in our documents. I don't need to do that. Now, can you see? Then under desktop, type null, bala 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 bala, balablu, blabba. Okay. So I can do the same thing here. You know we're in our document. How do we know we're in our document? CD. Balablu. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. Bye-bye. So CD, I mean, under my document, we'll soon close in the next 10 minutes. So don't be afraid. So how do I look at it? This is how to create a file in using CMD. Is what is being highlighted there. I'm going to tell us what they mean here. You know, underneath I said, oh, I've closed it. So this is how to do it. Hello, Tayo. I can hear you. Then you do something like this. This is the text you want to put on the text file. Hello, Tayo. I can hear you. Then you put this symbol, greater than symbol. It means you want to move everything in Tayo. Hello, Tayo. I can hear you. Everything you've written there, you want to move it into a file. How do you do that? You now create the file. Let's say the file is hello world .txt. Pam. Oh, hello is not recognized. Okay, they said, okay, I'm missing something. They said type null. That's what they mean. Let's see if there's much more thing to do. Oh man, I'm tired. This is test created. Okay, type. Sorry, we have to do all this rigorous process. It's very boring. Black screen is very boring, but you need it. You can't find me. Oh. Okay, let's follow. Type null. Okay, type null to create hello world. How do I view hello world? No, hello world. So I think we will need to create the file first, then write into the file. That is it. Create the file. That's what happened there. Type null greater than hello.txt, meaning type is the command. Null means the file has nothing. Create it, hello world, hello.txt. Then we can now write into it. This is the text file created in command prompt. Oh, I don't want to waste too much of our time on this. Copy on. I don't know why I'm killing myself because of these things. How do I write to it? That's what I'm asking. Okay, this is not giving me joy. So if it's not giving you joy, you don't understand what they are talking about, you go to the next one. This one is not giving me joy. So how do I write? If it's Linux, Linux is straightforward. So all these things we are going to repeat it. I'm going to show us on Linux on how we can do it. So let me just follow the step by step. I'm not so patient with myself. Copy on hello world. Hello world.txt. Copy on hello world.txt. Yes. Oh, don't let us waste too much of our time here. No, hello. Okay, this is all what I've done, all the trouble. So this is what is inside our file. Last, we're able to achieve this. So what I've taught us here is you're able to, let me recap again, you're able to view your current location where you currently are. Because anywhere you are accessing the file from somewhere. Where you're accessing it from, you need to know the location. It's either from your C drive or from your D drive. Your C drive stores your applications, your core operating system, files, and resources. Your D drive is for you saving some of your other works. So you can either view something from your D drive or from your C drive. Under your C drive, that's where you have your documents and all those vital information. So to check your current location where you are, you do CD. See, you're under documents under you're under users, under the C drive. Now, number two, what we've learned is you can check the list of information under the current directory where the current directory where you are. The directory where you are is the folder. Directory is the same thing as folder, dir. We list all of the things under that directory, file, folder, and everything. Number three is that you can change directory, meaning you want to enter into a new folder just as you double click on a folder and it works for you. To enter into a new folder, you do cd. First of all, you can go backward. Cd ... will take you back to where you are before, just like you press back, your arrow key back here. See this arrow key as this users, this style, this is my document. Where's my document? Not seeing properly. This is my document. As I press this arrow key back, you can also do the same thing here by doing cd ... It takes me back. So tile. CD, see my current location. I'm on that tile currently. So if I want to change, if I want to get into my document bar, you say cd documents. It has taken me back into my document, cd, my current location. I'm currently inside my document. Any action you do here, you are in trouble. You don't do any funny action. If you do anything like deal, don't use delete as you like. You get one of the principles in the working environment is you don't delete and you don't update. Before you do any operation, you do backup, copy and paste. You get copy. There's a command for copy and a command for paste. I can't do that now. So I need to just do a briefing in the next 10 minutes, a briefing on Linux server to ROS. So yeah, I think you have captured what we're able to do, and I'm able to make you know that under what you'll be working with is going to be a blast screen. You have to know blast screen helps you to understand the core functionality of what is happening on the system. Through it, you can access the system kernel, the operating system kernel, change some configurations and so many things. By the way, you don't need, the reason why I brought us on Windows is to give us an idea so that in your own spare time, you can use it to train yourself. Because most of us might not have a Linux operating system. Do you get? So you can use Windows to learn commands. To get you familiar with the blast screen. You get? You can use it to open files, save files, open directory, open new folders, access information. Then you can open an application from the blast screen directly here. You get? So after knowing that, these are very core. This is part of our work. This is part of tester, this part of integration experts, people that are getting job as maintenance guy in industries. These are what you'll be doing. You have to know core informations about the computer. So the next one, in the next 10 minutes, I'll give us an overview. I'll stop briefly in next 10 minutes. In our next meeting, then we'll go further than that. So a Linux server, now you are able to access my computer. My computer, this is Windows. On Windows here is my computer. This is my computer. You get, I can call it system. What I'm going into is system to system because